I'm going back to Judas Priest for this episode. I did Defenders of the Faith, maybe it was a month and a half or 2 months ago. And Defenders of the Faith was, or is, the most recent Judas Priest album that I have. And I can't imagine I'll ever buy anything after that. I thought Turbo sucked and Ram It Down didn't care about, Painkiller didn't care about. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't a big Judas Priest fan ever, as I mentioned in Defenders of the Faith. And so now I'm going back to the very first album with Rocka, Rolla, the cleverly named Rocka, Rolla, which is their first album. So I'm kind of starting at the end and now going back to the beginning. Something I guess noteworthy and unique about this album, Rocka, Rolla, for me is until today, I had never heard a single note from this record. Not a song, not a note. I recognize some of the song titles, but I had never heard anything from this album. And I really don't, there are some other songs or bands or albums that you know what people think about them, but you've never heard them. Well, I really, this is almost, essentially like may as well be a new album to me because I really am totally unfamiliar with it. So I listened to it today. I took it out for a walk. I exercised, walked about 5 kilometers, listened to it, came back again today, took some notes. I had to write notes about it because otherwise I have nothing to say, which maybe some people might be happy about. But as it stands, I really don't have too much to say about this record. But it's amazing with Judas Priest, listening back to this first album, Rocka, Rolla, that came out in 1974. I can draw some parallels with Scorpions for me because I heard both of those bands. I'm doing this. Scorpions and Judas Priest, I heard both of them for the first time in 1982. I got Blackout in 1982 because No One Like You was on the radio and I liked it and got that record. And You Got Another Thing Coming was on the radio also. Never got that record, Screaming for Vengeance, although I did have the single, the 45 of You Got Another Thing Coming, which had the B-side was a live version of Diamonds and Rust. And it's amazing when I did Scorpions, Lonesome Crow, their first album, and I did Fly to the Rainbow and Taken by Force. Amazing to think, they went from that, very, very different in 1972, to what they did later in the 80s, very, very totally different band. And Judas Priest is maybe even a bigger change if you compare, let's say if you compare Lonesome Crow, the first Scorpions album, in 1972 to Love at First Sting in 84. Well, if you compare Rocka, Rolla in 1974 to Defenders of the Faith in 1983, almost the same time period, around the same number of albums. Pretty big change from the first album to what became their biggest albums with those two. So just to draw a parallel between Scorpions, and I was never a massive fan of either, although I did and still do like overall Scorpions I like better than Judas Priest. No doubt about that. So Rocka, Rolla, I'm pretty surprised how this album, as I was just saying, I'm surprised it doesn't really sound like what you know as Judas Priest. There's no Free Will Burning or Painkiller or, there's nothing anthemic like Living After Midnight or Breaking the Law or, anything like that. I don't even know if I would consider this like a heavy metal album. I'm sure at the time it was considered heavy metal, but what we know now as Judas Priest and heavy metal, this album does not have that. That's what I think. And here it is. It doesn't. It was lacking the classic Judas Priest logo, which I guess they didn't have until Sad Wings of Destiny didn't have. What was the third record? Was it Stained Class or Sin After Sin was third? I think Stained Class had it for sure. So Sin After Sin must have been the third record. I think Stained Class was fourth. Was when they got the Judas Priest, the classic logo. Same with Scorpions, didn't have that classic Scorpions logo on Lonesome Crow, the first album, Fly to the Rainbow, second album. Third album was Virgin Killer or In Trance, I can't remember. And I think they did have the logo by then. But anyway, I think they're both 5-piece bands, dual axe attack. So a lot of similarities I think you could draw between Scorpions and Judas Priest. And they're both still going. I think Scorpions going a little bit better than Judas Priest these days. Not in my personal opinion, but I think in terms of success and how they're doing, I think Scorpions are are selling more tickets than Judas Priest these days. So here it is, Rolla. There's no hype sticker on this. And for some reason, it is a gatefold. I'm not sure because it's not a long album. Same with the Black Sabbath records. They were, 35 or 40 minutes. But they were all, except Sabotage, all gatefolds. And here's the back cover with this guy, not Rob, but Bob Halford. And Glenn Tipton, of course. KK Downing, Ian Hill, and the drummer was John Hinch. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I knew that. I knew Les Binks. And of course, Dave Holland and Scott Travis. But if you had asked me, a couple of days ago before I got this record, maybe a month ago, if you had asked me the original drummer of Judas Priest, I think I would have said Les Binks. I think I've never heard the name John Hinch before. So Judas Priest fans, school me, call me a poser for not knowing these kind of things. And this is produced by Roger Bain, who produced the first Black Sabbath album for sure, maybe the second and third. Paranoid, I think he did. Master of Reality, he did for sure. So if you like that kind of thing, there's something for you. All right. So I'll go through this now, track by track. As I said, I don't have too much to say because I've only heard it twice, and that was only today for the first time. There was one song on here that I liked. Nothing that I disliked, but wasn't anything that blew me away. Nothing that made me, think Priest the way that a lot of people think. So, all right, let's see. So I have no idea what's going to be inside the gatefold. Whoop, something is falling out. Oh, the record. That's interesting. No, the record is actually... Was that a mistake that they put the record... Oh, this is cool. They put the record in... I like this a lot, as a matter of fact. I like that a lot. That's excellent. So they put the record in the middle as opposed to inside the sleeve. Let me put that down for a second. So here's the record, just a black sleeve, and I think it's black vinyl, yes, with a nice looking label. It's got the Rocka Rolla label. There it is. And let me take a little bit of a closer look at this gatefold. This is really cool. It's got the lyrics. All right, cool. And I did notice when I opened this, when I got this has Diamonds and Rust. I guess it's on a bonus song. The version that I downloaded some time ago, I didn't download Diamonds and Rust. I don't know if it's a studio version or it was a live version, because I did know, as I mentioned, the live version of Diamonds and Rust that was on the B-side of the single to You Got Another Thing Coming that I had in 1982. Oh, there's something else inside. Oh, cool packaging. All right. Good for you, Judas Priest. Unlike... Who did I... Scorpions didn't have good packaging on their recent reissues. Like nothing. This is... I don't know what this is, but I like it. Very cool. All right, some little... Oh, this is just merch order forms. My God, look at this. This is a list of, I guess, records that are available. Look at that. This is on Back on Black Records. I see lots of Venom, Witchfinder, Pungent Stench, Raven, Corrosive Conformity, Hammerfall, Halloween, Superjoint Ritual, Sick of It All, Grim Reaper, Accept, a lot of titles there. So I guess these are all available. And there's a sampling, I guess, of some of them. Nothing, this is not Judas Priest related, but still pretty cool. I'm not going to buy any of this stuff. When I buy this stuff, I go to El Chopo. And there's an order form for some t-shirts from Plastic Head, the same company. And every single shirt, save for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every single shirt is black except this one up here in the top corner is red. And then on this side there are a few metalheads like black. Over here we got a few white, 1 blue. There's an Accept Metal Heart shirt that's blue. Cannibal Corpse is red and a few white. Death Angel. Oh, all right. Oh, pretty cool. All right, so good packaging. Good for Judas Priest. So I'll leave those there, and I will just take the record, which is all I need, because I need the track listing. Oh, and this is sealed up. Yeah, so it's just open on this side. All right, so the first song, oh, I got to get the notes. The first song is One for the Road. I remember this one. This is just, it's kind of, I guess, thumpy. It's fine, I guess. Not, I don't know. Nothing that caught my attention. Just it was kind of a thumpy, plodding rock song. Nothing really that got my attention. One for the Road. Next is the title track, Rocka Rolla. It was Rocka Rolla Woman for a Rocka Rolla Man. This one is a bit more of a rocker. You know, it's more up tempo. It's got some harmonica in this one, which I wasn't expecting from Judas Priest. I don't know that Judas Priest ever had harmonica. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, Rocka Rolla is a decent song on an album that's not that great. And there are 10 or 11 songs, if you count Diamonds and Rust on this. Winter is next. Now, I thought when I listened to this today, I thought that this sounds like it could be, I mean, if they played it live now, and as far as I know, they don't do any of these songs live. I don't think they've done them for years. I think in maybe more recent tours, they may have added one or two older songs. I'm not sure if they were as old as from this record, but I thought Winter, you know, if they played it live, they could get away with it for sure. Seems like it could be a more classic Judas Priest song. And then that one kind of bleeds right into, when I listened to it on my walk, I didn't know there was a new track. Just an instrumental called Deep Freeze. I think it's like a minute and a half long or something. It's just some kind of, you know, guitar noise filler. It's not really a song. Classic filler. It's very short, as I mentioned, and pretty pointless, as a lot of these bands did back then. They had these, Black Sabbath had, you know, Embryo and Children of Embryo and Orchid and Fluff, although Fluff is a good song, and FX, things like that. And then Winter. So it goes Winter, Deep Freeze, and then the next song is Winter Retreat. I don't know if that's supposed to be like they could have really made that into kind of one cold and blustery, wintry blast song. So Winter Retreat, it's another short one. I think this one's only also around a minute and a half or 2 minutes. It's kind of a quiet song. It's got Bob Halford's mellow vocals. It's not the Priest vocals on this one. But it's okay. Next is Cheater. This is for sure my favorite song. I'm not sure if I would rank it as one of the great Judas Priest songs. I think I can put this down. I don't know if it's one of the great Judas Priest songs, but it's I scream you cheating, bitch, here's what I think of you, you're a cheater. And then there's a harmonica solo. Again, another unexpected turn in the realm of Judas Priest, that there's a harmonica solo on Cheater, but that's a good song. I like Cheater. Next is Never Satisfied. I guess it's okay. It's a rock song, and he's got the satisfied at the end. He holds that. That's Rob Halford singing that high note, satisfied. He holds that. That song is okay. A few more here. Run of the Mill. This is a long, it's 8 or 9 minutes. I guess a little bit of an epic Judas Priest song. A little bit disappointing, similar to Lonesome Crow, to draw another parallel to the Scorpions. That song is 13 and a half minutes, and I expect, because I like these long epic songs and twists and turns and, you know, all kinds of things. And this one, it was okay. It's got that some non-Judas Priest sounding guitar, I think, in this one, but didn't catch my attention. When you see Run of the Mill, this was one that I did at least know the song title. I knew Run of the Mill, and the next song, Dying to Meet You. I guess I know those because those are fan favorites, I guess. But yeah, Run of the Mill is, I hate to say it, Run of the Mill. Dying to Meet You, this is a little bit bluesy. This has more, that intro, the guitar intro in the beginning is not what you would expect from Judas Priest, I think. And then Bob Halford, his vocals in the song are a little bit lower. Also maybe what you would expect from Bob or Rob Halford. It's kind of a mellow song, and then it essentially ends about halfway through it, or maybe 3 or 4 minutes into it. I think Dying to Meet You is 6 or 7 minutes. It's also a little bit long. Then it becomes pretty much a new song. When I was listening to it when I was walking, I thought it was a different song. And then when I listened to it a short time ago before I started doing this video, I saw that it was the same song. And but it essentially is a completely new song. The song ends, there's a pause, and then it becomes, as Paul Stanley says, now it gets rough. It's a little bit more of a rock song. Got a wailing guitar solo. This song does have what you would expect from Judas Priest in terms of guitar from K.K. Downing and Glenn Tipton. And then the last song, Caviar and Mets, total waste of time. It's a two-minute song, instrumental, completely pointless filler. I don't know why, Dying to Me would have been a great ending. And then for some reason they put the Caviar and Mets. And then, according to this album, not the version that I downloaded, it's got the Diamonds and Rust as the last song. I'll have to check on this and see if Diamonds and Rust was on the original version. Because I know when Judas Priest reissued some of their old catalog in recent years, they added some, I think that was more on CDs, they added some bonus tracks. So I'm not sure if Diamonds and Rust was on the original version or not. But from what I know of this album, in my 3-hour history with this album, as far as I know, Caviar and Mets is the last song, and it's pointless filler. Yeah. So that's it, I guess. And I guess I will be going through more Judas Priest. So if you like Judas Priest and you like to hear me make relatively shallow and meaningless observations about them and their albums and their songs, feel free to stay tuned, because I will be talking about more Judas Priest in the future. Hopefully it gets a little bit better than this. But speaking of this is the very first Judas Priest album, and it's called Rocka, Rolla.